if you're in a place where you're not content with your life or how things are going or what you've fallen into, I just want to tell you that it is totally realistic and possible for you to be able to change things and reach a place where you're way happier and your life reflects what you want to do and what makes you happy. And I just want you to know that you shouldn't give up because you can absolutely get out of that place. I was about, I don't know, 5 years ago, I was living in a house with my ex girlfriend, our four cats, I think, and our dog. And, like, I felt like I had made it pretty far from where I grew up, I grew up, like, not in a great environment, but I felt like I kind of had my life together because I was living in a house that I paid for. We could do whatever we wanted, technically, but at the same time, I was also a shell of like a real healthy person, like who I was. Like I was shut off. I didn't ever go out and hang out with anybody. We did a little bit, but honestly, my ex girlfriend from the time was way more ready to do stuff with people, and I really wanted to stay home and play video games, and was really shut off. And I think it took until we broke up and COVID happened, and honestly, I shut down even more. I stayed, obviously, everybody did. I stayed home and played video games all the time. but but afterwards, my little sister moved in with me. My restaurant shut down, and to save money or to be able to afford to live, really, I moved in with my dad in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I started going out and going hiking to the mountains that were out there. I started pushing myself to explore photography. I had always really wanted to start a YouTube channel, so I started watching like Peter McKinnon and a lot of people that go out there and just do it, to try to give myself that mentality of going out and just doing it. And I would go out and walk around the city and take photography. I would go to the mountains. I would take my sister out and try to have her like model, like, for me as a subject, so that I could practice. And I don't know, I started feeling like this kind of weight off my shoulders, like I had a clean slate and I was able to start doing things that mattered to me. And it was the greatest feeling ever, actually, aside from just being in a new city and being around new people, which was great. I absolutely recommend anybody who's considering trying to move to a new city to do it. But it was really just the being willing to put myself out there, and like pushing myself to try new things and asking myself, like, what would make me happy? What can I get out and do outside of just the normal cycle of nothing, really, that I do all the time? And it was such a great feeling. I started to find more confidence in pushing myself to record myself for the videos that I was making. I found more confidence, really, overall, just from going out and going around the city. I would pick random destinations of places that I had never been, like hiking trails, and just go out and do it. Like, I would drive for hours sometimes to a new trail just to say that I made it, and to spend the day out there hiking. I would take my sister with me, and yeah, I over the next couple of years, I've since moved to Charleston, and I've gotten a bartend. I was always working food and bev, but I worked my way up to bartending. But I pushed myself to start hanging out with more people, like I didn't really ever do before. I would go out to the beach with people. I started going for runs with some friends that went for runs, and I ran my first 5K. I started doing yoga. I did beach yoga a good amount, and just random yoga classes with my friends. I started just trying to live life more and experience things that I had never experienced. And I don't really know where I would be if I hadn't started pushing myself to do that. But I know that now I'm in a way better place than I ever was. I've had experiences just from going out and doing things that would have made me uncomfortable in the moment, but pushing myself outside of my box to do it, and have those experiences with friends, like go out without any plans or knowing what's going to happen, and just be there and let it happen, and have fun and let yourself have new experiences. And it's why I was able to grow so much as a person. I opened myself up to new relationships and friendships that I couldn't have ever imagined before, just by letting myself get out there and try new things and explore what I want, and what would make me happy. And I think one big thing, I keep switching hands with the camera, it's a lot to hold right now, but I think one big thing to note here too is that it's not just about putting yourself out there. It's also, you have to be willing to assess your life and where you're at, and think about what you're putting energy into and what you're caring about right now versus what you actually have passion about and what you care about. What I mean is, you need to like almost do an assessment of your life and do some personal reflection and think about, ask yourself what really matters to you. What have you cared about your whole life, like growing up? Like when you think about your future down the line, what sort of things have always stood out to you, or have you had in the back of your mind that you want to do in the future that would make you so excited to see your future full of? Like what are you passionate about, even if it seems unrealistic, or like if right now you can't imagine doing those things, if you've shut those things off, like they might still be inside you. Like there might still be things like traveling. Something I've always wanted to do is travel the world and explore, and make YouTube videos is something I've always wanted to do. And it might seem right now like it's completely unrealistic, but the truth is, the only reason it's unrealistic right now is because your life isn't shaped to include those things. And in a lot of situations, you've kind of talked yourself into thinking that it's not realistic for you, or you don't deserve it, or it's sometimes a coping mechanism so that you don't have to put yourself out there. But you have to do that assessment of yourself, like recognize those things that would make you happy, and start pushing yourself to take actual steps towards those things. Like I'm still in a place where I don't feel like I get to do all of the things and live the way that I want. And it's really important to realize that we have a limited amount of time in this life, and you have to push yourself towards achieving those goals. You have to realize that you control your life, and you can take control of your life. And if you're not happy with where it's at right now, or there's more things that you'd love to be doing with your life, then take control of your life and start taking steps towards making that a reality. For me personally, I've always wanted to travel when I was a kid. And I guess when I was a teenager, I found this website called The Runaway Guide, where this guy was detailing all of the ways that you could live on the road, travel Europe, all across the world, how you could stay in hostels, how you could get backpack and pack for certain trips and just live on the road. And I was going to do that. I was going to take my car, drive to the nearest airport on the East Coast, and fly to Europe and just run away and backpack and live on the road. And I dreamed about it all the time, every day. Like I could see it. I would watch this guy's vlog or his blog posts and read about his journeys and travels, and that was all I wanted, and that's still all I want. I want to travel. I want to get out there and see the world and see Europe, and everywhere, Asia, Africa, South America. But somehow I end up just in this repetitive grind of working, and just working more than 40 hours a week sometimes just to try to afford my bills, and for nothing. You lose the time to vacation, you lose the time to do anything, or it feels like nothing sometimes. But I guess I can relate to you if you're in that situation at all. Still, right now, myself, I can relate because there are things that I would like to be doing that I can't do right now. But I'm going to be starting now, taking measurable steps to make that a reality. And for me, that looks like prioritizing my mental health, not exhausting myself or letting myself get burnt out, not putting too much weight or pressure on myself to always be doing too much work, too much of different types of work at the same time. And I'm going to start making videos like I've always wanted to and hope that I can slowly grow. I know I'm starting off right now. They're not going to be great. My editing skills are not going to be great. I'm going to have to get better at talking to the camera, but talking to you. But hopefully I'll get to talk about some of the things that I really want to talk about, which is, just living your best life. Excuse me. I want to talk about things that people go through, that I've been through, that I can relate to. I want to talk about motivational things. I want to talk about anything that I've got going in my life that could relate to anybody or help anybody else feel heard. And hopefully I would love to be able to travel and do travel vlogs, but I guess we'll see where it all goes. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to anybody who's not content or happy with where they're at right now and feels like they could be a lot happier, even if you don't really recognize it in yourself, that you can be. And it's not, I don't want to say it's not as hard as you might think, because that's kind of demeaning, but it's really not, coming from someone who's trapped themselves in that situation. All you have to do is ask yourself what would make you happy and what you really want, and be honest with yourself, and ask yourself what that would be, even outside of the boundaries of what makes you nervous and what seems hard, and what, even if you have to break the rules and find another job or move or change something about your life or what you've accepted as normal, be willing to do it and just give it a shot and do a couple things outside of your comfort zone and see how it makes you feel. And I feel like a lot of the time you'll start to feel a weight off your shoulders, and you will start taking steps towards a life that feels more in your control and that makes you a lot happier. Anyway, I'm gonna go to the gym. I hope that you got something out of this. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.